This is often the situation where the parents of both couples, both spouses, are interfering in their lives, and they're constantly giving them advice, or they even are pushing them to take a course of action, and that's taking a toll on the marriage. How do we address that? In fact, one big factor that leads to divorce or marital problems or separation is the involvement of in-laws. Once the in-laws get involved, it usually complicates and exacerbates the situation. Therefore, my suggestion is to not involve your in-laws in the details of your marital life. If you're going through a dispute, maybe you have differences of opinion with your spouse, no need to share all the details with your mother and father, or your sisters, or your brothers. But that's something that's very common. Some people from a lot of cultures around the world, anything that happens in the house, every negative thing, next day, the mother knows, the sisters know, the brothers know, and other family members know. That's not necessary. When you start your marital life, make sure that from day one, you adopt this policy in your house. What happens in the house stays in the house. Our differences of opinion stay in the house. Don't go and share everything with your mother, with your sisters. That's not necessary. Because if you keep sharing negative things with them, they're going to get involved because they love you, they care about you. But sometimes they'll react emotionally. And they'll actually ruin your chances of you working out the problems with your husband, with your spouse. The best advice I can give you about this issue, don't involve your family in your disputes, in the details. No need to bring them news every day. This is what happened, this is what he said, this is what he did. Yes, if it comes to the point where you have an abusive partner and you're being subject to cruel abuse, obviously you need intervention. You need somebody to help you. But if it's not to that point, it's just differences of opinion, maybe some negativity, some disputes, arguments, keep your family away from the details as much as you can. Secondly, reassure your family that you're okay and you can work things out. Tell your parents, this is not serious. It's just a minor issue. We'll figure it out. Thirdly, take their advice. If somehow they got involved and they're giving you advice, thank them. Tell them, Mom, Dad, I really thank you for your advice. You really are great role models for me. You have a lot of experience, and I'll implement aspects of your advice. So if you think that the advice they're giving you is probably not appropriate or it's going to ruin your marriage, don't reject them or shun them away. Thank them and tell them you'll try your best to implement their advice whenever possible. That's something that's very important that will help save our marriages. So the bottom line is, try not to involve the in-laws, the family, as much as you can. And even if you ask them for advice, sometimes we need guidance and advice. Even if you ask them for advice, ask in a general tone. Don't tell them what my spouse said last night and last day and what he did. No need to give specific details. Ask for general advice. And if you feel your family is going to get involved, ask from your friends. Go to wise members in your community. Ask them for advice. You don't always have to ask your mom for advice if you think that's going to instigate her and she's going to get involved in your marriage and probably ruin it, right? Or complicate matters. Go to a counselor. Go to a scholar. Go to a trusted friend. Go to a wise community member and ask them for advice, and try not to involve your family.